Hey y'all, what's up? In today's episode of Shit I Be Thinking About, I want to talk about perception and boundaries. I'm making this video with reservation, but it's about my personal healing. And since I haven't found a therapist yet, y'all get to hear the story. Holding this in would do me a significant amount of personal damage if I don't get this out. It has been just over 4.5 months, and I've had time to calm down. But I'm still pretty pissed off, 10th level petty, and sometimes hold on to shit like Rose holding on to that door when she let Jack sink into the abyss. Although, in this situation, opinions vary and I might not be, as far as the following story goes. Everyone familiar with the situation already knows about me going to unsuccessfully visit my grandchildren in Georgia. Due to both my sons being terrible communicators, I didn't find out that they moved until I arrived in Atlanta and discovered, due to bad intel, they had been in Houston for over a year. Don't even ask me how this happened. Another reason why we shouldn't rely on social media to track what's going on in each other's lives. Pick up the phone. That's a story for a later time. All right, whatever. Wounds licked, lessons learned. I literally got over it within an hour. Time to enjoy the trip. I hadn't been out of town in many years, so I wanted to make the best of it, and I'll plan a visit with the kids at a later date. It's not like Atlanta wasn't a place I wanted to go. Well, how did I get here? I had a friend whom I respect, admire, and dare I say, love to an extent, who is supportive, nurturing, and most importantly, inspired and motivated me to do something I definitely didn't want to do. That's getting on a plane. The last few times I planned to go see the babies was either driving or taking a bus, but the plans always fell through. She took initiative and booked the flight. All I had to do was build the courage to fly. That took a lot. Luckily, I had 2 months for preparation. Here's where the story develops. My friend has a friend, and let's just say she didn't make a pleasant first impression. The plan was to split our visit, spend some time with the grandkids and some with her friend. Perhaps separate for one day to get full attention to our respective parties comfortably. There are other parts of the story that aren't necessary to go into detail, but those details did prompt her friend to overreact dramatically when she heard the news. After we stopped by her house before checking into the hotel, she was already on fire and immediately went in on my sons, especially the grandkids' dad. She repeatedly called my kids assholes and even went so far as to tell me she felt sorry for my grandkids for having a father like him. Wait a minute. Who exactly the fuck do you think you are? We literally just met and you're shitting on my family without context? Not to mention basically making a disparaging remark about how I raised my kids. I don't know what emotional trauma you're suppressing, but you don't get to project that shit on me. How are you more angry at my sons than I am? Make it make sense. Did you fall out of your fucking tree or something? That's the boundary part. She literally got entirely too close to emphasize her disdain for my kids. She disrespected my personal space. For the record, Brian is a loving, ever-present father, and I'm so terribly proud of him. I wish I had half the opportunities at his age to give him and Alan the attention he gives my grandchildren. You know how when you're angry, you pay closer attention and hear everything? I noticed that at the point where the purpose of my visit was pretty much void, she found a way to make it about her. My friend may not have noticed, but she became aggressively possessive. I don't know if that's her natural personality, but it's definitely what was being displayed. I knew I was an obstacle for her having our mutual friend to herself. She even went so far as to forbid me from coming back the next time our friend visits. So you're the fucking Queen of Georgia? I hereby proclaim that you, Mr. Howard, shall not enter the state of Georgia whilst accompanying this woman ever again. So saith I on this day in June 2024. No offense. Because no offense softens the blow and makes the medicine go down better. You can guarantee that if I would have ever had the opportunity to travel with my friend again, it wouldn't be anywhere near you. Needless to say, being a guest in her home and with no way to leave, it's not like I could go on walkabout to cool off, and I was not in a position to retaliate, so she didn't experience the true Charlie uniform November tango that I am, and I reluctantly took the punishment. I naturally felt unwelcome the remainder of the trip, and this was the first of 4 days. She tripled down on the insults the next couple times we got together, making certain I knew how she felt. The first time wasn't enough. Let it go, lady. I will have a discussion with my sons, and your opinion is duly noted, deemed irrelevant, but noted all the same. My friend maintained her neutrality, and I would never have expected her to step in, but she didn't deserve to be placed in this position, and it definitely wasn't her fight. Expecting any intervention would be like asking her to choose between the two of us, and I'm not that selfish. I personally consider myself expendable, and she seems to need the attention of our friend way more than I do. My friend is a person who, had we both not been running off 2 hours sleep, was willing to make the 12-hour road trip from Atlanta to Houston so I could achieve the goal of seeing my grandchildren. I wouldn't ever think of needing her to fight my battle. What her friend didn't know is while she was trying to talk us out of making the trip, we'd already decided, so her input definitely was not needed. Despite the negative energy I received from this woman, I was determined to have a good time, and I did, even if it were perceived that I did not. I got to eat at 2 vegan restaurants that I was really excited to go to. That was following one on Instagram. And I missed having a Loving Hut in Pittsburgh, so that was awesome eating there. I enjoyed the Ponce Market and met up with my hood cousin, who happened to be selling his house the same week we were there. So I did get to see family when I was down there. Most importantly, I got to spend 4 days with my friend. I don't think she really knows how much that meant to me, and unfortunately, she probably won't. My only regret is this witch most likely won't see my video, as I removed her from a follower pretty much immediately after our exchange. And if I never see her again or hear from her, it would be too soon. Sorry for being too cliche. She could have been a nice person just having a bad day, but this went on for the entire weekend. So as far as I'm concerned, her personality is shit. The moral of this story, kids, your friends can't always be friends with each other. If I had to do it all over again, I would have rather visited her friend in Arizona. I heard she's pretty cool, but I think she unfollowed me too. Anyway, I have to interject this update because I wrote this over 2 months ago when I felt optimistic. 4 months ago was and probably is the last time I'll ever see my friend, as there was something I did or said that created an irreparable crater in our friendship. I reckon we experienced the trip differently. This video most likely shattered what was already fractured, but like I said, this was for me to heal. Turns out I lost anyway. Perception and boundaries. That, my friends, is shit I be thinking about. Y'all have a good one. Deuces.